This daf Yom Yerushalmi Meseches Terumos daf Mem Gimel on the in the Ozvader Arts edition daf Gimel Rav. We're starting from Halacha Ches, the fourth line down, which in the Vilna is on Chav Gimel base. Sarah Truma, it should be I learned it should be as close for Am Yisrael and Eretz Yisrael in our war against the Tzara Yosei Machshmam and Zichram. Such the Truma Shtav Api Megura V'Kafa. You have a saw of Truma which fell on top of a, well, he would Megura as a drawer, but any type of container of a Kafa, and you floated it to the top. Okay, so the saw of a Truma. So the it's interesting that the word, I never thought this before, the word Kafu, means frozen. The Mukam Nagir means that here it's like Hayai Mishiyikfe, and Mises Aleph Zayin, and Vayitzev HaBarzel, when Elisha raised the axe handle which fell into the Jordan River, the Targum was Vayikafa Barzla. So it means to float to the top, to raise to the top. So the, in this case, it's the means to float. I was thinking that, I just thought now that it could be that that's the reason why the freeze is likpo is because based on the anomaly of water, that when water gets to 4 degrees Celsius and it's way down towards freezing, it floats, it expands. The ice is less dense than water. That's why ice floats on top of water. So that's mishiakpi. Mishiakpi means when the solid ice rises to the top and floats on the water. That probably is actually the derivation. Okay, so in any event, then you lifted up the, you don't know where that stuff fell, right? You don't know where it fell, but you lifted up something. So presumably it was kind of sure was the saw. So if you moved in that entire batch 100 sin, then talabecha mea. So it's okay. The truma's batel. But Yeshua Meir lo tavel. Yeshua says no. The truma is not batel, and we'll have to see what the sheet is going to get to the Gemara. Similar case, but we in this case we know we can identify it. We know its place. You have to remove it, even if it's a ratio more than 100 to 1. You have to remove it. So when did they say? Lama amru here means when. When they say truma ala bechem mea, b'she'en yadua in blue hain. If you don't know where it's mixed in, no, that's wrong. B'she'en yadua. Let's not know. What's one case? Not Edua in blue hain if they got mixed in together. They don't know where it fell. So saying below saying when you do a nofla. That's really the way to understand the lashon of the Mishnah. Okay, so the next Mishnah says this is how Mishnah. Mishnah is somewhere. Parak Mishnah base. Shtei kupos. You have 2 containers. Shtei maguros. Or here means either two baskets or 2 drawers. Shenava say truma toch achas man. Imagine truma fell to one of them. We don't know to which one it fell. Malazu azu. So they are both included in the suffix, and therefore they can be both included in getting to the count of 101. Shemer afilim b'shtei ayoros. Even the 2 containers in 2 different cities, they don't know to which one it fell. Malazu azu. They could both be included in the 100 to 1, which you need in order to be about to the truma. Says the next Mishnah. Mishnah Gimel. Rabbi Yossi. Rabbi Yossi said, "Ma'aseh b'avnei Rabbi Akiva 50 agudot shel yerek." Ma'aseh came from Rabbi Akiva with 50 bundles of vegetables, which are chulin. Shnav hachas tocha chetzki truma, and to one of them, half a measure of truma fell. From Mati of Taleh. And I said that the truma should be is okay to. In other words, it's batel. But lo truma olav chamisha echad. It's not that truma fell is batal in 51, but rather elashusha me'ah v'shnei chatzayin, and only half of a saw is was truma, so therefore it's not a problem. Seems to be pashat. I guess we'll have to wait till we see more what the finish is. Okay, so it says more chavish yitasi Rabbi Eliezer. Rabbi Eliezer seems to contradict himself. Based now, chavish yitasi Rabbi Eliezer. Rabbi Eliezer seems to contradict himself. Taman hu omer, in the previous Mishnah said tachtonos ma'asos el yonis, that you can count what's in the bottom of the barrel to nullify what's on the top of the barrel. Even though the bottom of the barrel, you know, is chulin. And you don't, even though the truma is at the top of the barrel. And the bottom of the barrel is not really part of the suffix. But kol amar im yesh b'kipui kashir in, it's only if in the amount you remove, you have a ratio of 100 to 1. Are ye so low? But the ones which are landwards, the words down below, they don't count. They're not included in the bit of proportion, established proportion of 100 to 1. Rabbi Yirmiyah bar Abba, B'Shem bar Abba, B'Shem Rabbi Kana said, the Divi Rabbi Eliezer. So, according to Rabbi Eliezer, Osu Oso Kemar Bebemezid. So, when you remove it, you're Megala Das, that you don't see them as one with the Achtonis. And therefore, the Truma is Choser B'nei or not Butla, even if you had 100 in the barrel to get you, including the bottom. So if we join them now and say, okay, well, it's true, we took these away, took them out, but let's still join them for purposes of establishing a ratio with what's below. It's Kamar B'Mamezid. It's like being Bato L'Sochatchila. And that's no good, obviously. Rabbi Ela, that's one way of resolving the contradiction of Rabbi Eliezer. That Rabbi Eliezer holds that when they're still all together, then tachtonos ma'asos yonis. But when you separate them yonis, then the tachtonos don't come to the cheshbon. And the other answer is Rabbi Ela. Rabbi Asi said named Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi Yochanan did Rabbi Eliezer also so. They made it kasa'ah olam mitoch me'ah. It's like a saw which comes out of 100. Which, of course, if you have a saw which comes out of 100, so then it's we know which one is. We identify that as a truma, and if you take one saw out, we always that's what we do when we have a portion. We take one saw out, we identify it as truma, and that one is considered to be midam mea until there's 100 corresponding to it. Even though we don't know what's actually original truma. This is why let's go say later on in the next parak. He be of enough makam acher. He picked up a saw and put it somewhere else. So it says it's medamea as if it's trumas vadai. So when it fell, it was takabata by using the bottom ones. You can make the proper proportion. But when you then skimmed it off, that's the right word I was looking for. Skimmed it off. It's like as if it got mixed up again. And therefore, you need to have in the keep with 100 corresponding to this truma in order to negate it again. It's to be a slash of the gra. Fascinating, right? It's like it's as if it's similar to the case when you picked up a saw and you designated it now as your new truma. It was initially bought up, but you have to pick up one and designate it's truma. Here too, it's as if you designate one as your truma. You just don't know which one. So if you need 100 corresponding to it in order to be about to again. Mine of Geminim, what's not going to do the two opinions? Al Daita Rabbi Asi Mutul Rabbois. According to Rabbi Asi, you're allowed to be marbe. In other words, since the truma itself is already bought out before you took off skimmed off the top, so therefore now you can add on as well to whatever you took off, and if you don't have 100 to 1 yet, but you can add on to make it 100 to 1 because it's already was bought out. It's already bought out down below, so therefore it's not a problem. I'll die to Rav Kahana, but according to Rav Kahana, so wait, give me a baraba. I'm going to kind of get it here. Oh, there it is. So Shem Barabah, Rabbi Yirmiyah Bar B'Shem Yochanan, Shem Barabah B'Shem Rav Kahana. And the article says Kahana. Not Rav Kahana. Hadait Rav Kahana, also Rabos. According to Rav Kahana, no, this is Mevatel Isser L'Chatchila. So, because the Truma was never bought on Tachlis, because you Megal Das, so you want it to be separate by skimming it off. So therefore now you can't add on. You make out the portion 100 to 1, either have it or don't. Kafa because of a kafa. Okay? Another nafkamina. You did it twice. First time scanning them enough to vatal it. By doing it the second time, you had enough to vatal it. So al daited Rabbi Yassi. According to Rabbi Yassi, it's mutter because there was very butter below. Butter once, and you're not being mevatel. You're not mevatel suchat in this case by adding on and making sure to restore it to the prior bittul. Al daited Rabbi Kana, it's also according to Rabbi Kana, it's also because it was never butter because you megal dasi you want to be connected to the bottom ones. So therefore, you can't add on the second time because that's part of mevatel suchat. Al daited Ravasi api shlo shir. According to Ravasi, well, let me give that a little bit of thumb, like Kavnoki says. We're talking about where you didn't leave. We're assuming there is no truma left in the first skimming. Okay, this is a bit complicated. Let's read it inside first. Al daita Ravasi, afopi shalo shir, al daita Rav Kana b'hu shir. So what's the way in this case to be able to fix it? If you're kofa less than 100. So according to Ravasi, even though you weren't mashayir anything from the truma inside the you weren't mashayir anything from the truma inside the drawer inside the container, then you can take out again. Kafa can be kofa because already butter once. Adaita Rav Kahana b'hu shir. According to Rav Kahana, the loophole is that there's some. If you know that some of the truma, you know some of the truma was left after the first skimming, then it's clear that you're not coming to be marbe on the truma in order to be mevatel it. I'm not sure why not. In that case, you'll have to be mevatel l'chatchila. Not sure I understand how that works. So I looked at all the other mafarshim, and they're all very difficult on this line, and none of them are particularly easy. I guess it's obvious, all difficult, and obviously not particularly easy. But so I'm going to go with the Kaminoki again, even though the Kaminoki says this is Zom Chudish Nikam. And again, if he didn't get the first, there was like Ravasi, it doesn't matter what's left in the pot or not. You can always be marbe because it was bato already in conjunction with what's below. But going to Rav Kahana, it doesn't work, right? It's not about what's below. Therefore, you have to have 100 to 1 in what you were kaifa. But what and you and can't be normally you can't add on because that'd be about when no prior bidul is taking place. But if there's still truma left in the drawer, in the container, and you're taking off, you're being kofa again, and you're allowed to be kofa because you're trying to get the truma out. If when you're kofa again, you get enough, and I assume you're allowed to do this deliberately because it's not mechser coming back to this. That's what the Kavanah is saying. If you kofa enough that together with what you kofa the first time comes out to 100 to 1, you're okay. So again, the reason why I could call it is because you still had truma left. And you tried to get off that truma. It happens to be that to get off that truma is kind of a loophole, a ruse. You hang out on also chulin, and therefore you're going to have more than 101. That's okay because it's not mechse. That's Kavanaki's shot. That's and again, as I said, all the other pshatim are more difficult than that. So we'll stop here for today.